Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Jeremy Smith. Wait, I think this shot is missing something. Don't you guys think? Hold on 1 second. Let's see here. Ah, yes, there we go. That's it. As you guys know, I am a stills photographer primarily, and I am very, very passionate about lights. I love using a lot of different colors in my images. I think that color is one of the main things that helps me shape the look and feel of my images. Now, I do use flash very, very extensively, but in some scenarios, flash just doesn't work out nearly as well. A lot of times I'm shooting in very low light conditions. I'm using wide aperture and high ISO. And in those conditions, a flash completely overpowers my shots. So I switch over to using some type of constant light source. Now, while I've got lots of fancy flash equipment, honestly guys, my constant lights, LEDs and so forth, they could be better. So whenever Zhiyun reached out to me about their new X60 portable COB light, I was very excited, especially whenever I found out that it was an RGB light. And I think this is exactly what I need to be able to produce more unique content. Now, they did supply me with this light, and they're not saying that I have to say good things about it. I always have some critiques about everything, but they are supplying this light in exchange for me to be able to show it to you guys. But I wouldn't be agreeing to show it to you guys if I didn't think that it was a legitimately awesome piece of kit that I could use in a good way in my own work. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Zhiyun X60. Taking a closer look at the Zhiyun X60, you guys will notice that this thing is extremely compact. I was very, very surprised. I knew that it was going to be small, but I was not expecting it to be quite this compact. If you guys take a look at this in comparison to some old school flash memory tech, you will see that it is surprisingly small. Despite its small size, it does still feel very solid. Like, it doesn't feel heavy, like it's going to be very, very, heavy to carry around. But at the same time, it does not feel flimsy. It feels very solidly put together. I like how it has this sort of copper color, and you can see all the heat sinks inside. It kind of has sort of a steampunk kind of vibe to it. Has this more retro-looking fan grill cover here, which is pretty cool, and some nice looking knobs. Very, 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 very nice looking unit. We have this proprietary mount on this light. This is Zhiyun's ZY mount. They do make a Bowens mount adapter. Unfortunately, I haven't picked up one of those yet. I may get one just to kind of test it out. But with this ZY mount, they do make several different accessories. Included in this kit, there is a reflector that also has a diffusion dome. And I could see myself using that probably the most. There's also a little small softbox. So I'm going to get this out into the field and kind of experiment with those modifiers. And perhaps pick up that Bowens mount adapter and try this with a little bit larger softbox too. So stay tuned for that, guys. We'll get this out into the field and see how it works out with those accessories. As far as powering this light, that's another thing that I think that's probably been the biggest thing I've been the most impressed with this light so far. It's just the many, many ways you can power this light. And surprisingly, it comes with a lot of unique ways to power it too. So down here in the bottom of the light, we do have our ports. There is a barrel style connector here that it actually comes with the power supply for. That will go straight there, an AC style adapter that goes straight there. And then it also has a USB-C Type-C port that will support power delivery. And so you can actually plug in, a battery bank. I've plugged in my GAN style AC power adapter to this that I use to charge tablets and phones and so forth, and it works very well with this light. Now, the battery that this light comes with is this one right here, and this battery has a USB-C power delivery port on it as well. It's kind of cool that this can serve double duty. You could totally charge your tablet or your phone with this too, or your camera, and I thought that was pretty cool. So it's nice to actually have this in your bag. You could use it for other things. You can also use the included USB-C cable to basically connect to here and then go straight to the light. Now, one thing I did notice is that if you do that, this USB-C port port is limited to 30 watts. And so that doesn't allow the light to function at its maximum brightness. You'll get about 40% brightness whenever you connect the light to the battery in that fashion. So that's something to be aware of. If you want to get the full light output when using the battery, you want to go ahead and actually attach the battery directly to the light via the proprietary connector. Whenever I saw this put together, at first I thought, I'm not sure about the sort of asymmetrical look to it, but after I kind of played with this for a little while, now I've kind of gotten comfortable with this light. Again, I'm very, very eager to get it out into the field and do some more proper testing with it. But yeah, once I put this battery on and kind of played with it a bit, I realized that this is designed to be a handle. Honestly, I was a little skeptical about using this as a handle at first, but it does work really well. There's a sort of rubberized texture here. It's got a nice solid grip, and it's very, very comfortable in hand. It's got a nice balance to it as well. So it works out really, really well for me so far. I'm going to go ahead and power this guy on for you guys, you can tell. And yeah, this thing is surprisingly bright. You press and hold this button, and then you have to rotate one of the knobs to actually get it to power on. So that way it won't accidentally get powered on in your bag. So that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and turn down my light I'm filming with here so you guys can get a better impression of what this light is like. But yeah, we have our LCD back here. Now this is the RGB model of this light. And so we have a lot of functionality as far as that goes. So right now we are in the basic sort of bi-color mode. And you guys can see I can change my brightness there. There is a fan here. I noticed that as long as I was around 20% or lower, I didn't really have the fan kick on a lot. It probably will power on in just a moment. The noise is not very obtrusive. I found it to be not really an issue so far. Honestly, when I'm filming indoors, I have a lot of other things that are going that are louder than this, so it doesn't seem to be an issue so far. But yes, this is going to be our RGB mode. We can go in there, we can change our brightness, of course, there. If I go in and rotate this other knob, you can see how I can go in and change my color temperature. And yes, it's very, very bright. We're at fairly low power right now, and it's still a very, very bright light. If I go over into this mode, we can get into some of the RGB settings. So you can see I can adjust my saturation. There goes our fan coming on, by the way. Now you guys might be able to, you can kind of hear what it's like. It's again, not too obtrusive. So we have the ability to go in here and adjust our color saturation. We can also go in and change and go through the colors of the rainbow here, so you guys can see how that works out. Now, as far as changing through all the colors, honestly, on all these lights, there's a lot of scrolling to go through all the colors of the rainbow. Thankfully, though, this light can be controlled via Zhiyun's app, which I will show you guys in just a moment. So you can see we can go through all the colors there. And then up here, we, of course, have our brightness adjustment once again. So everything can be adjusted in that fashion. If you'd rather change all of the colors in a little bit different way, you can go in here and you can actually set this to where you can change the percentage of each color RGB. So that way you can kind of change things in that fashion if you'd prefer. And then we have an effects option here too. Pretty much all these lights these days have some type of effects menu. So you can go in and you can go through different types of effects. So pretty cool there. So very, very straightforward and easy to use package. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the app. And I'll show you how it's much, much easier to control things there than it is on here in regards to the RGB settings. Taking a closer look at Zhiyun's app, which is called Vega, you guys will notice that it's very, very straightforward. Right now we're in this CCT mode, so we have the ability to change our color temperature. So we can go in and actually move these sliders around, and we can go from, more daylight temperature all the way down to a much warmer tungsten type temperature. Of course, we can change our brightness right here as well, so you guys can see how that works out. It is, I'm still super impressed by just how bright this light is. You guys can see how it changes very responsively here in the app. We also have the ability to go in and change things in smaller increments. So if you tap the little plus and minus here, you can really fine tune it in and not have to like move your fingers on the slider and try to get it to the precise position. You can kind of get it close, and then if you're going for a specific temperature, you can hit those little plus and minus arrows and get exactly where you need to be. So that's how that works out. So very cool there. Things really get interesting in my opinion though whenever you get into some of these other modes. Now you can see there's a CCT gel mode, so you can basically simulate different types of gels. You know, you can go in here and go to like full CTO, quarter CTO, 8 CTO, and so on. So that's pretty cool. If you were putting gels on a tungsten lamp and you were using, you know, getting it more to a bluer temperature, you can simulate your CTBs here. Color temperature blue, which is pretty cool. But things really get especially interesting when you come over here and you get into some of these different RGB modes. So you can see if I go down to color here, we can go through and change through the full range of colors. And it's super easy to change this. There are some presets here that we can go through. You guys can see how it's changing right there. So that's how all that works out. So really awesome there. But then we can go in and actually move our little color wheel around and get it exactly where we want, fine tune our saturation and so on. So it's really cool. Now another thing that's kind of interesting here is that we have this picker here, and this is something that is, I've seen on other lights, but it's always cool to see this on any light. So if I were to go in, I have a little photo over there on the wall, and I point this here, and if I tap on pick, you guys can see how it will go ahead and change the light to that particular color. We can go, let's go to something else. Let's go to, we'll go to some of these sort of red colors here. So you can see how it goes to that. So you can see how this works out really well. So yeah, as soon as I pointed at anything, it will go ahead and change to that color, which is pretty cool. So that's how that works out. Very straightforward setup. And the app seems to work very well. It is possible to put lights into groups and things like that. I haven't tried that so far, but I plan on playing with this a bit more. If you have more than one light, it would certainly be nice to have things set up into groups. You can also do a color temperature match here as well, so you can actually do like a sort of like a neutral color measurement and change things there as well also. So pretty cool setup here. Very easy to use. I'm definitely going to be getting this light out into the field very soon. I have actually, guys, I've been doing a lot of creative shoots lately. I'm looking forward to showing you guys all those, but I have a certain time that I'm going to show you guys all those creative shoots, and I look forward to getting this out on a creative shoot as well very soon. Write me in the comments if you guys have any questions about this product, and definitely check out the links in the description, and you guys can actually purchase this if you'd like to as well. Until next time, this is Jeremy Smith, signing off.